What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity. I hope you guys are doing well. And before I get to the main course of this video, I want to give you guys just a little Merry Christmas, a little Happy Holidays, a Happy New Year maybe. I know it's later this week, but still, you know, let's at least try to have some holiday cheer. But I'm not going to give any holiday cheer to Activision Infinity Ward or to Modern Warfare 2. Because originally I had this huge plan for this game. I was going to be uploading a bunch of content, I was going to be following the news, I was going to be making sure I was grounded in what was going on in the CDL. I had this massive plan. And then I got to play Modern Warfare 2, and you guys all know how it's been. Disappointing, to say the least. I'm sure there's people out there who are enjoying their experience, but at the same time, there's a whole heck of a lot more people that have either stopped playing or playing it because they're sad, sadistic people. I don't know how people can come on to Modern Warfare 2 and actually enjoy themselves. The game itself is just a poor man's version of Call of Duty. It's almost like the Wish version of Call of Duty. It's like somebody took the worst aspects of Call of Duty and said, here you go, here's Modern Warfare 2. And the worst part is Activision has been trying to parade around like this is a successful year of Call of Duty. Meanwhile, they're bleeding players left and right. No one's talking about it. No one cares. I'm sure there's people that play Warzone 2, but frankly, Warzone 2 is a failure in and of itself because players are like, oh, this is a worse version of Warzone 1, which is the same problem of Modern Warfare 2, where it's a worse version of Modern Warfare 2019. It's like they've never learned from their mistakes, and this is why Modern Warfare 2 is failing, and this is where the main course of this video begins. Modern Warfare 2 is a complete and utter failure. Across the board. Now, you might look at the sales numbers and you'll be like, Ferocity, but it sold really well. Ah, you're right, it did sell well. But that's it. The goal of Activision is for this game to continue to sell as time goes on. For this game to continue to sell microtransactions, to bleed every player dry. That is their goal. Their goal is not to provide you a sufficient gaming experience. It is to get you addicted to spending money. It is getting you addicted to the microtransactions, which, for me, I don't fall for in video games anymore. So I need some motivation to actually make me play, which this game severely lacks. I've been saying it since the game launched. This game does nothing that older Call of Duty games did better. There's nothing in Modern Warfare 2 that I can't go back to a previous Call of Duty and look at and say, wow, this Call of Duty from 2014 is better than the one here in 2022. When I think back to where I thought Call of Duty was heading back in, let's say, the Black Ops 2 era, back in 2012, 10 years ago, I thought this would be an unbelievable experience 10 years later. And all I've seen is a studio, a developer, a publisher that is all out of ideas and has no idea what the community wants. They are so beyond out of touch with their own community that they are out of ideas. So what do? They go back to the drawing board. But the drawing board isn't anything new. It's old stuff that they'll try to bring the community back with, right? It's shipment. It's shoot house. It's bringing back free-to-play weekends. It's giving you double XP weekends. Even though the XP in this game doesn't matter because prestiges don't matter because seasonal prestige is bad. And this is the problem, is there's a lot of issues in Modern Warfare 2 that has been brought up by the community several times, whether it's, you know, a small commentator like me, or big commentators like Nero, or Blame Truth, or Exclusive Ace. But all of it falls on deaf ears. And this is another reason why Modern Warfare 2 has failed. Is at every turn they've had an opportunity to listen to fan feedback, they have let it go. They've just completely ignored it. And I've talked about this trajectory basically since the beginning of Modern Warfare 2's life cycle. I've talked about this trajectory from even back in the beta. I said they're going to be hard-nosed until they realize it's dipping their numbers, and then they're going to try to save this game late in the game's life cycle, by like February or March. That's when we're going to actually get the true experience of Modern Warfare 2. Because there is a good game here, and I've talked about that a lot on this channel. I've said repeatedly that I believe there is a good game somewhere in Modern Warfare 2, but right now, it's just not there. It's not available because the developers are too hard-headed to actually see the problems with this game. They're too hard-headed to notice that the development decisions that they've made have actively made this game worse. And on top of that, their own motivations to make money has caused the average player to lose motivation to play the game. I saw a quote in a Blame Truth video talking about intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. The problem is there's no intrinsic motivation to play Call of Duty anymore because you don't get rewarded for anything. Because if you do well, you get harder matches. And it's not like you have a rank to associate with those harder games. You're just playing aimlessly for no reason. It's funny because I've started playing chess recently. And every game I've ever played of chess, do you know what I get? An ELO rank. Win or lose, I know what my rank is. I know where I stand at all times. And I know as I progress, my matches are going to be harder. They're going to be more difficult. But guess what? All I care about is that number. And if my matches do get harder and I slowly get better, I can actively watch myself getting better. But in Modern Warfare 2, in Call of Duty, there's no way to tell how you're getting better. You're just arbitrarily playing against different opponents, better opponents, the same opponents. And it's all worth nothing. And this is the problem with SBMM. I'd rather see my ELO score. Hell, even NHL 23 has an ELO score when you play online. That's okay. Like, that's not even a game that's considered AAA to some. Like, obviously, I like it. I know EA Sports is the big baddie because they release the same game year over year. But regardless of that fact, they at least have ELO. I at least can see my ranking. And if I want to play casual games, I can. And guess what? There's no skill-based matchmaking involved in it. And that's the way it should be. You should have ranked and unranked. But this has been something that the community has talked about for years, and it continuously falls on deaf ears. It continuously gets just completely ignored because for whatever reason, they have a metric that shows that skill-based matchmaking equates more dollars at the end of the day. But what I have to ask now is it working, Activision? Is it working, Infinity Ward? Because you guys are sadly bleeding players. Left, right, and center. This game has no hype as it goes into the new year. This game is 2 months old right now. A little bit under 2 months old. And no one gives a fuck. No one wants to watch it on Twitch. No one cares about the CDL. This game has been dead on arrival. And it is completely because of the ignorance from the developers. It is completely the confidence and the arrogance from the developers. And frankly, so be it. They deserve it. If you think the best thing you can do is give us Shipment and Shoot House as part of Season 1, maps we've seen before and done better before in previous games. Good job, Infinity Ward. You've done a tremendous job of messing up the best opportunity to bring Call of Duty back. This was the opportunity because guess what? People were going to buy the game because it had Modern Warfare 2. And people who were my age in their early 30s saw that as an opportunity to relive those moments when they were 18, 19 and playing Modern Warfare 2 originally. But unfortunately, you missed that opportunity because you decided to make the game a cheap ripoff of what you did in Modern Warfare 2019 with less maps, with less to do, and a terrible progression system. A terrible perk system. A terrible footstep system. The list goes on and on and on, and the matchmaking system, and the fact that the UI sucks, and the fact that it's so hard to play with your friends. This game, from the ground up, is an absolute failure. I know it sold well, and good for them. They were able to market it in a certain way. They were able to get people to spend their money. Hell, I spent my money on it. But the problem is soon enough, those numbers start to dwindle. Because guess what? This 2-year life cycle idea they have is going to fall by the wayside because they need those numbers to increase. And you know what's not going to happen is people who bought this game originally aren't going to buy that $70 expansion that's coming next fall. Because they've been duped once. They're not going to get duped twice. And this is what Activision is banking on. They're hoping that people can get duped. They don't want to create good games. They don't want to create games that have passion behind them. They don't want to create games that are going to be fun to play for years. They want you to be duped. They want to trick you. They want to bait and switch you. They have no integrity whatsoever. It is all about trying to squeeze every cent out of their consumer and provide them the least amount of value for their dollar. And that's the problem here. And this is one of the reasons why I haven't played Modern Warfare 2 in months. I've gone back and played NHL. I'm playing Last of Us again. I'm playing the new God of War. There's so many other games out there that are so much better than the current multiplayer system. Like, if I look at Halo Infinite, bad game, lack of content, a studio that put money ahead of content, that didn't pour heart and soul into that game, even though it seemed like they were going to. Battlefield 2042, another misstep. A game that had potential, but again, was all about not providing an experience for the player. It was all about greed. It wasn't about passion. And then here we have Modern Warfare 2, another greed-driven game that has no passion in it. There's no heart. I've talked about this before. These games have no soul. When I think back to Modern Warfare 2, yes, it was a fucking wild game. It was. But there was soul there. There was passion. You could tell the developers cared about that game. Hell, you played Titanfall 1. Surely it didn't sell great. But man, did that game have some passion behind it, because it wanted to change things up. It was fun. It was different. It was new. Same thing. That's what Call of Duty needs to be again. It needs to have passion behind it. It can't just try to rely on nostalgia. It can't just try to rely on bait and switch tactics. That's why we're in this spot. That's why we're in a point where nobody wants to play your game. Dude, we're 2 months into this game and you still only have 12 maps. And the funny thing is there's nothing here that's quality. You have 12 bad maps. At least Black Ops Cold War had a couple good maps. Moscow was good. Crossroads Strikes was good. Hell, the CDL's playing garbage maps all the time. No one wants to watch this shit. The same issue that I had with Vanguard. It was an awful game to watch because the maps were bad. You gotta start putting some effort in. You gotta start putting some passion in. You gotta show the community that you freaking care more about the quality of game you're releasing than about the dollars and cents. Like, hell, look at Santa Monica Studios. Look what they did with God of War Ragnarok. Look with Elder Scrolls or Elden Ring. I didn't play that game yet, but I probably will. These are games that are made with passion. They respect the community they're trying to release the game to. They demand the best out of themselves because they know their community is going to demand the best out of them. But maybe that's the problem in and of itself. Maybe it's our community here in Call of Duty that doesn't demand the best for it. Maybe it's our community that allows itself to get played year in, year out because they're the ones that are okay with buying dollars and hundreds of dollars worth of microtransactions. I don't know. But maybe at some point, Call of Duty could start respecting the average fan of Call of Duty. Not just the cash cows, not just the whales. The people like me that have been playing this series for 14 years. The people like me that just want to see the best for this series. Not a series that's falling apart at the seams. Not a series that can't get the average player to play. I have a nephew that's 12 years old, and I asked him about Call of Duty. He said no one plays it. Nobody cares. It's all about Fortnite still. And I just kind of laughed because I remember when I was 18, all the 12-year-olds were playing Call of Duty. And you're not able to get the 12-year-olds anymore? Not a very good look. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today's video. I know we went a little longer than normal, but I got a protein shake here that I'm going to enjoy because I guess it's almost 2023 and I should try to start taking care of myself a little bit better. So anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Would love to know what you think was the downfall of Modern Warfare 2. Let me know with a comment down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.